The following podcast was recorded on July 31st, 2022.
My guy. You might gotta do that again, but how you doing, man?
I'm all right. How's it
How's
going?
life? How's life?
It's going, but I'm pushing.
You're pushing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here talking about your we're here to talk about something that a lot of people here in America is dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Student loan debt.
Yeah, we finna dive right into it. Yeah.
So let's get right into it, man. What you get? How bad is it for you?
All right. So I graduated with a bachelor's in fine arts with 51,600 and something grand, and yeah, I graduated in 2017 from Ohio Wesleyan University, and yeah, I'm just living life right now and trying to pay it back, and I've been paying it back, and since everything that's going on happened, I've been knocking out a lot more. And
Okay, so are you paying it back in the field that you got your degree in? Did you get that job, that great American job?
I would say more so from working food industry or like the hospitality industry. It's not my first choice to pay back loans, but hey, it's helped. So yeah.
Yeah. So did you have like a time when you graduated? Did you have a particular time frame? How long are you gonna take to pay it off?
Good question. Somewhat, not really, because being the first to graduate in the family, you don't really get like a handbook of guidance. Like I've had family members get into college, but like on my mom's side of the family, nobody stayed. Nobody like stayed all the way to graduate. So it's kind of like a learning experience. Not really, but
Not really. But that was gonna be one of my questions. That did you have anybody that went to college, graduated, that gave you that? Hey, by the way, these loans are no joke. You got to pay them off right away. That experience, but basically, this is all a learning curve for you.
It's definitely a learning curve. So my mom, she worked for ComEd, which is like a light company. She stayed there she's been retired for about 6 years now. She's enjoying retirement. She was basically set. She's been working there since she was like 18 because she didn't know what she wanted to do in life. So she always been set, and she told me straight up from the jump. I live in like a single parent household. She told me straight up like the first 2 years, because that's our brand name, how they pronounce our school, OWU. They let us know from the jump that it would it's going to be a little expensive school, but like that was out of all the schools that accepted me, they were offering me the most financial aid at the time. So I was like, why not? Plus their logo's red, so I was like, why not? Let's just go for it. She told me straight up like she would be able to help cover like the first year or 2.5, but then at that point she would exhaust all her 401k, and we'd have to start taking out even more loans than that point. So we were okay like freshman year and like most of sophomore year, but definitely had to take out more loans approaching junior year, and had to get a cosign from my nana. And I told her at the time I didn't want to ask you for that type of thing. Like having anybody like cosign a loan is like, I don't want to be in that position because it's always awkward, and I don't like own anybody money, as you could tell. So it was like I didn't want to do that. But my uncle, who he made it to about his junior year in college before he dropped out, he told me like, you just got to do what you got to do. It's better to, go and get that degree now instead of like living with FOMO, like the fear of missing out, or having regret that I would, not like the decision that I made to skip school for a few years and then try to go back, because that's always hard. And I've always done like the straight school system where it's like, you do each year, you just try to stick with each grade.
Gotcha. So before I get into how you're paying off the debt, those years you were in school and you accumulated the loans, do you feel like it was worth it, the experience you got there at college and everything? You feel like it was worth that loan and the experience and information that you got looking back on it now?
Definitely. I do feel that college in general is like super high school. It's just like added more freedom, but I definitely going to an out-of-state school and being around people that I'm not used to being around, of all different cultures and walks of life, that was definitely very inspiring, and like opened my mind to like more than, I'm from the south side of Chicago, so I didn't really see too much. It's like you see the same thing, and it's like it's nice to venture out and see that, oh, like it's different. It's a bigger world than the neighborhood that you initially grew up in. And I learned a lot about different cultures and made friends with people who don't even look like me, and it's great. And I've learned like life experiences that Ohio's in a very small town, and we're from Chicago, so that's like big city. So it was definitely a switch up, seeing like the difference between like how people act from bigger cities, like interstate cities, compared to like small, middle of nowhere type of places. So I definitely learned what I needed to learn, and I definitely met the people that I needed to meet in that time of my life to get me to the point where I am now. So I feel that it was worth it.
Okay. With all this talk with student loan debts, there's been a discussion, I feel like, of whether education is a right or a privilege. Basically, in order to get the higher education, you have to pay for it versus just seeking the knowledge and just not having to worry about the expenses of it. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like this is something that's a privilege that certain people should only be able to attain, or it should be more well balanced, that it shouldn't be about price, it should be about giving the information to people that want to receive it?
I fully think that anybody has the right to an education, especially if they want to better themselves with even more knowledge. I do feel that college should be free, and we know that in different cultures and different countries, like, college is free. It's just like in America, it's all about a money system and capitalism, and like, yeah, it's like a lot of stuff that I didn't, and you and I both didn't know when we were applying for colleges and getting into stuff. Like, we didn't see like kind of the scam of it all, where it's like go to big school, or you try to go to like in-state school, and like you still got to deal with that. But here's the price of books, tuition, board, booking, and fees, and all some other stuff that you ain't really trying to pay for, because like they come with the whole package. So
I feel like any American system, you're gonna get that. Like, you're gonna get where this is what you're going for, but here are the extra things we're not gonna tell you about.
Yeah.
But you got to pay for it. So that comes with American territory. Let's get into how you paying off the debt. So legally, yes. So how many jobs do you currently have?
So I currently have 2 jobs. I work at Cost Bucks as a barista, and I work at Fat Belly as a sandwich maker. They call it sandwich artist, but sandwich maker. Yeah.
So how many hours a week are you giving to both of these jobs?
So currently, about a minimum of 70 hours per week. I started, it's 2022 now, but back in last year, 2021. See, I'm trying to remember what day it is.
It's that long, yeah.
Yeah. When I was decided to like go all in on my loans, I just started doing 70 hours. And it was hard the first few weeks, because I'm not used to doing that. Pre-COVID, I was doing up to at least 55, but I was still living with my mom's at the time, and I was like, okay, this is something I can balance and still have a little cash on the side to do, creative stuff like this. But when I decided like I wanted to go all in, I just committed myself to doing at least 70, and here I am 42 weeks later doing it, and I'm still surviving. So yeah.
So what it sounds like you're saying is you're fully embracing the hustle culture that so many young millennials are really into, that you got to, by any means, make that bread, make that money, get what you got to get out of it. No sleep.
I would say no. I definitely find sleep.
Okay.
I work to death, but I definitely find moments to get rest, and definitely find sleep, even when I have to forcibly like just let myself know like, we're not finna do that. Like, you finna just sit down, you finna take it easy, and you ain't finna meal prep nothing for the night. all right, just buy out, eat out for at least, once. Cause, with balancing 2 jobs, I have to do meal prep and I have to do laundry and stuff. It's gotten to the point where I bought extra clothes, enough clothes to last me for at least a month without doing laundry. That way, when I have to do laundry, I only got to do a month load of clothes and then I'll be good for a whole month. So, but definitely finding the time. And why I'm going in so hard now is because the system, they can't make up their mind on what to do about the student loans with everybody, because Biden promised that he was gonna I'm gonna take care of y'all student loans, at least you said 10 grand, I got you. But it's
Nah.
yeah, right now
I think about it.
what day is it? It's
The 31st
31st
of July.
It's July 31st, 2022.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna see this in the future and they're gonna be like, what day was it? Since you think,
So we'll put it right here. Ding.
Boop. But it's he promised us, this is the 7th time they've extended the student loan pause. And I've taken full advantage of that through every single pause. My mindset was for each student loan pause, I would set a goal for myself, try to knock out at least these 2 loans, this $6,000 loan and this $2,000 loan. And then next thing you know, the student loan pause would get extended and I'd be like, well, I'm just keep going then. And then, yeah. So last year, 2021, I paid off the rest of my Sally Mae loan, which is about 16 grand in total. I hit my $10,000 grand limit. And then I find out that, oh yeah, they're extending it again until when was it, March or May or whatever. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm just keep going at this.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I know you're currently paying off your debt, but you're also, like you just said, you're waiting to see what the Biden administration does as they keep kicking it down the line.
Kicking the can. Yeah,
literally kicking the can. But I guess not to be the devil's advocate, but I am going to be a devil's advocate. For the individuals that have paid off their student loans and they're long over it and now they're hearing all this and they're saying, oh, well, back in my day, there was no talk about this.
Yeah.
What is your response to that? Because it's I paid, not me directly, because I have loans, not student loans, but I have loans that I have paid or currently paying off. But for those who have paid off their student loans and they're they be taken aback by this whole notion that we're going to be pausing or you don't have to pay it. What is your response to that?
I kind of feel the same way with them because it's yo, they did the same thing I did. They put in the work and they didn't have opportunities to do this type of stuff. And I don't blame them. It's yo, how come they get theirs taken on? They get a slap on the wrist when I had to put in hard work. So I can definitely see the opposing sides of that, which is why I personally feel that he should not forgive the $10,000 limit, because I feel that nothing in this world is free, and I feel we're gonna have to pay for it in some form or sort of way. Obviously, I want everybody to get student loan, forgiven, but it's I know it's gonna come at a cost. It's it's not really gonna help. It's just gonna put us in a deeper hole. And
I think a great example is the stimulus money that we were given.
Oh, yeah,
and now look where we are now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a good point. Mm-hmm. You cancel student loan debts. Well, it's gonna come with a price.
Mm-hmm. And plus, I at the time I take responsibility for being in that office back in my junior year with the Pursuit of Happiness, Will Smith tears. I'm trying to get this degree. I don't mind signing a student loan. I'm gonna pay it back. Just I want to get my degree on time with my friends and whatnot, because I don't feel that I would be able to knock out this degree if I take a gap year or wait. I feel that the time is now. So I was fully aware of that responsibility, and I was aware that I'd have to pay off these student loans with the accruing 10.25 up to that point type of amount of interest. So taking responsibility for my actions, and here I am. So that's why I've been taking full advantage of that student loan pause. It's yo, no interest. Interest is interest will put you in more debt because like you try to save and you try to knock it out, but you barely knocking down the principal because you got to pay for all this accrued interest. And then next thing you know, like life happens and you got to take out money for this and money for that. And then you in a deeper hole and it's like, bro, like I need a break.
So when do you find the time for that break? Like working these two jobs, you're a creative yourself, so you have creative things you're doing, and also just having time to do chores like laundry and just having your self-care time. Like how do you find balance when it seems everything is unbalanced?
So my mom taught me, the biggest thing that my mom taught me that has stayed with me, and it has stayed with me in my work ethic as well. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I've noticed that as I've lived throughout life, I've noticed that that same lesson kept reapplying to everything I was doing, whether I was working a 9 to 5 or I was trying to prepare like a shoot for this. Like you have to plan it out. Like what if any of these batteries die? Like I need to be prepared and have backup batteries on standby. What if the microphone goes out? Like I need to make sure those are fully charged. Like everything that I do, it has to be, you have to have a plan for it. So it's like you just have to find, and I'm an excellent pre-planner. I love to plan stuff out. So it's like you find joy in like finding those moments and spots in time, and you just got to be on top of your game. You got to learn it.
Yeah, I believe time is the most valuable asset that we have. So you definitely got to learn how to spend it with those people and those things you care about.
Yeah,
for sure. So you have a time frame on when you're gonna have the rest of the debt payoff, so that's a loan payoff, because you knocked out Sallie Mae, so you got some more. You got a time frame?
Oh, I didn't tell you. So I started off with about 51,600 and something. As of today, of
July 31st,
July 31st,
2022.
2022. I owe only about 20,800 something. So I've knocked out at least 15 and 20 grand.
A big number
within the past pandemic years.
Yeah.
So I plan to, by the end of the year, I plan to knock out at least 12 grand. That's based on like the amount of loans I have. So I only have a federal loan, or it's called Ed Loan now. They switch companies and everything in the midst of all this.
America for you.
Yeah, I want to knock out normally, according to Dave Ramsey, you would do the snowball method, which is where you start off with the small ones and then you get to the big number ones. But I kind of just went with whatever. I kind of started off with the snowball method throughout the pandemic, but I eventually just go with whatever. I'm a type of person where I like to get all the work out the way and then be able to enjoy the fruits of my labor later and be able to chill out. So I wanted to knock out the big numbers first, which are the ones I have now. Majority are 4K loans. I have about 2 or 3 of those. I want to knock all those out and then only have to deal with a 2,000 loan and a 1,000 loan, something like that. But yeah, by the end of the year, I will only have to pay about 8 something grand, and then I'm free.
So for every loan that you paid off so far, describe to me that feeling that you would have when you know that you're done with that portion of it.
Man, the first time I did that, so the moment I decided to do this, I got inspired by, I didn't look at it as a one big number, but that week that we went on lockdown back in March of 2020, I decided to actually like sit down and actually look at all of my student loans and like look at what each compartment was. Cause since I graduated college, I had been paying it. I've made every single payment, but I was just making like the bare minimum. And like, I didn't know that at that whole time, like I knew I was accruing interest, but
not as much.
Not as much. I didn't know how
much you were.
How much of a hole I was putting myself into. So
got real fast.
Yeah. So during lockdown, I just I took a moment. I just looked at each individual loan, and then I realized like, hey, like that one's only like $700. That one's only like $200. That one's only like $1,000. Like I know if I apply myself and I look at it, compartmentalize it by individual loan, like I know that I can knock that out by this point. I can knock that out, and then the wheel just started going. And like at that point, pre-pandemic, I was already working 2 jobs. but I was living it with my mom at the time, so I was able to save up a little more money, stay balanced and whatnot. But definitely having that student loan pause on like interest, that just opened up my mind to like how much I can also be knocking off. I can be knocking a lot of stuff off, and I just decided to do that. My first one was $2,000, a $2,000 loan. That was one of, like you graduate and then it's like another loan pops up and it's like, oh, I don't even remember that one. But I guess I ain't got no choice. Y'all gonna hold me down from this. So I knocked that out. I posted it on Facebook back in like August of 2020 or so. And it's like, you get like, it's kind of addiction. It's like you get like an endorphin, you get high off of like just knocking out a student loan, because like, as millennials, like that's unheard of to like actually knock out a student loan and like you don't have to deal with that. So, and then it's like, that's extra income coming in now. It's like, it's not much, but it's like, it's something. It's better than nothing. It's like, I have $50 extra to like in my pocket now. Like that's unheard of. Cause as when you sign up for loans, it's like, you see it as like a rite of passage of part of, especially if like nobody in your family has graduated before, you see it as like, oh, I guess that just come with the territory of, going to college or whatnot. And I guess I just have to deal with it and navigate it the best way, like just like they're doing. But it's like, I want to do it again. It's like, it's gotten to the point where each time I knock out a loan, I have to, part of my self-care treatment is I have to treat myself to like a nice dinner or like, and also like a fancy gift or something, it ain't got to be too big. It could be like Five Guys. And like, I just buy myself a new hat or something, but like, I have to treat myself in that way to reward myself for like going through all that. Cause like, remember, you're going through, you in a rat race, like you got to deal with that to the point where like, you don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you get exhausted, mentally frustrated, you get burned out. It's like, yeah,
So when it's all paid for, what exactly is the first thing you're gonna do besides be smiling like you are now and happy for joy? Jumping for joy, I should say.
I'm taking that weekend off and I ain't gonna do nothing. I'm gonna just sleep, eat some steak, binge something, because I don't have time to binge anything right now, but like, I'm gonna just chill out that weekend. But I would probably still keep 2 jobs because, it's like by that point, I'm gonna need new clothes. I'm gonna need a new laptop. I still got the same laptop from like 2014. Like it keeps telling me like error messages and stuff. Like I'm gonna need a little bit of this. Just I don't want to splurge and like what's that thing called when like you have extra income now and you kind of up your lifestyle creep.
I never heard of it. I know this lifestyle change. It's just
Yeah.
flexing, as the kids
Flexing
like to call it.
or keeping up with the Joneses. I don't want to do that, but I definitely want to like, just get a few updates on stuff that's like I've been neglecting, and maybe get my teeth whitened or something, because all that coffee I've been drinking. So, but I definitely, I'm a filmmaker as well, aspiring filmmaker. And it's like all this stuff, all this camera equipment, this stuff ain't cheap. And it's like, I want to be able to give others the opportunities that, of like a production company sort of that, that people don't have as much access to. It's like a DIY filmmaker, just indie and stuff. So.
All right. So when that's paid for, we're gonna come back here and we're gonna toast it up then, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna pop champagne on you with your extra money.
I told you, I'm texting you first. I'm gonna text Mimi too as well. I'm texting the chat. It's time.
It's time. Okay.
I ain't gonna say nothing else. I'm gonna just say it's time. You're bringing the bottle. Like I said,
You got the money. You're gonna have the money.
No.
Yes, you will. All that extra money. You're the one working 80 hours basically. I digress. I'll bring the bottle.
I'll split it with you. How about that?
Bet. Now, your journey and your experience with this, obviously you don't have any children, but you may have either nieces, nephews, somebody you may be mentoring young. Would you, as they enter this phase in high school and they're thinking about college, would you give them the nuances of the case there? Because they may not be aware too, especially us Black folks. We don't usually have the privilege of, having the finances that's where the loans come in at. So would you give them the information that you have about, hey, by the way, this is what you need to do, this is what you're going to expect with that? and to make sure they understand fully, like, oh, okay, this is what I want to deal with?
So I don't have really, on my mom's side, everybody's like grown, cousins and whatnot. So, and I've never really met them, especially on my dad's side. I met them, but it's like I didn't really know them as much. So I don't really have like any people I'm mentoring. It's just I decided to do this film because I don't see too many people that look like me or come from where I come from, like be ambitious about this. So I decided if I can't find any role models to do this besides YouTube, then why not be the role model myself? So yeah.
That's what's up. So in that case, then you got any other kind of words you want to give them about just what to expect during the journey? Because we talked about what you've gone through, and you're a rare exception because you're knocking it out. I'm sure in some cases it's not that great, or they're basically probably paying the bare minimum, if they're paying anything at all.
Yeah.
So you want to tell them your ups and down moments of that?
Definitely that part I was talking about, finding balance. Finding balance for me is easy. It's just maintaining that balance through additional stuff. So if something like knocked off the energy of my week, like it just throws me out of loop, and then I feel like I'm just like all over the place for like a week or so until I'm able to like restabilize, which led to like moments of burnout where it's like I'm just exhausted and like, why did I sign up for this? I would say those moments, and definitely you gotta just dealing with coming to terms with that you're making a bigger sacrifice, because remember, I don't get to see my mom as often as much as she wants to see me. Like she just saw me yesterday after like not seeing me for like what, 10, 12 weeks or so. She helps pitch in with the groceries. I told her like after school, like I'm good. I got 2 jobs. Like I'm okay, mom. But she like, I'm retired now. She don't want to spend some bread. And I'm not. Hey, in this market, I'm not gonna turn down a free meal. So you know, but sometimes meal prepping is definitely stress, because it's like you go through a long 14-hour day and it's like I still need to meal prep this broccoli, or I still need to set that up, but I find the time, and it's just about what you do. If you gonna commit to something, how committed are you gonna stay to that? And you have to discipline yourself to be able to be in that mindset that this has to get, I don't care, it has to get done. You can go a little slower, you can do it in dosages, but you gotta get it done. So
sacrifice, commitment, sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, especially as like I'm still in my 20s, like talking about the fear of missing out. I know that I'm not really missing out on stuff. It's just like every now and then it's like a cool festival or something that, you know, you just want to go to, or you just want to chill out for a time. I make that time, you know, to be able to do that and be able to do film and everything that I do. Is just, you know, sometimes you get a little taste of that freedom. It's like, no, I got to back up because I'm still committed to this. So it's the biggest commitment I've made to myself this far. So
until the next one comes along.
To the next one, yep. To the next devil pops out. Yep.
All right. So that was your advice to the youth. So basically, we just gonna wrap this up for now.
I will let you guys know when I knock them out. I'm gonna text y'all, and then we're gonna pull up to this spot or a different spot.
A bigger spot. We're gonna have the money for it.
We'll see. We'll see. I'll pitch in.
I'm manifesting. You are the manifest guy. I'm manifesting that we're gonna have the biggest place for it, and we're gonna celebrate, and we're gonna crown this achievement moment that a lot of people don't get to do at this young age.
All right, we'll see. But I'll definitely let you know. Deal?
We got it.
All right.
I appreciate you bringing me on this journey with you.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing an amazing job so far. I mean, again, somebody who's paid off debt, not as much as what you're doing, but it's paid off debt and who also was committed to it. I salute you for that.
It's hard, bro.
It is. Very
I got on 2
difficult.
pairs of socks and a toe protector right now, bro. It's hard.
It's taking a toll on your body and the mental, for sure. But when it's paid off, that is one of the greatest feelings you get when you know that you no longer have to pay a certain person this amount of debt.
Yeah.
You go back and wonder at times, did I really want this? But it's like, it taught me a lesson that I needed at that time. And here we are today, debt free. Now I can save more money.
And I know it won't equate to me being happy in life, but I'd rather be stressed out with no student debt than with student debt. So,
The hours will decrease though then, right? Obviously, your hours you're doing, will they decrease? So you're going to continue this hustle pace of 70 plus?
The hustle culture pace.
Yeah.
Probably keep the hustle culture pace just for a little bit to catch up on stuff, but definitely slow it down. Maybe like 65, a nice little 55.
That's better. That's attainable.
I have time to sleep more.
Yeah.
Get about 8 hours of sleep with a day off. Maybe 2 if I feel like It's just I want to be able to have options and that freedom to control my own time, have control over what I want to do with my schedule. So
that's key. That's something a lot of people that's well off still don't have. So to have that not only financial freedom, but that's freedom of knowing what you want to do with your time, to cherish that.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful feeling.
But when I'm there, I'm gonna let y'all know.
All right. On that note, we here. Eric, it's Trent.
I'm Trent, and that's how I paid off my student loans, part 1.